They go by Volunteer Speedway. I think the actual name of the town is what resonates with most people. It's just 2 words, but they mean a lot to those of us that have been around the sport our entire lives. It's just 2 words, but it's Bulls Gap. The mountain town in eastern Tennessee that's been hosting dirt track races for nearly 50 years is where we call home tonight. Welcome to Flow Racing Night in America. I am Michael Rigsby alongside Derek Kessinger in our Bloomington, Illinois studios as we bring you live coverage all night long from Volunteer Speedway in Bulls Gap, Tennessee, a place that just oozes history and relevance in the sport. This place has hosted, I went back and looked through the record books over the last 5 decades. About every major dirt late model series in the country, they have hosted a big event for. They've hosted a special event for. Derek Kessinger, even for a couple of Central Illinois boys, I think we can appreciate the history of Bulls Gap that's about to be on display tonight.
Oh, hell yeah. But except it took me the first 10 years of my life to realize that Bulls Gap and Volunteer were the same track. I got that figured out at a young age. But, I mean, this place is iconic. High-banked. It's not Tazewell high-banked, but, those eastern Tennessee tracks are – got that banking in a cool setting. The place is always jam-packed for special events. This place screams dirt late model racing, Michael Rigsby.
My first visit to Volunteer or Bulls Gap, like you said, a lot of people don't know that they're the same place, was back in March of 1999. My cousin Sean and I made the trek down for the annual Spring Thaw event that they used to have to kind of kick off their season every March. Freddie Smith would eventually go on to win that race. Derek, there was also a 4M gathering at that event at a local hotel. All the members of the 4M message board got together.
I'm not going to say anything mean about that. But I don't think Turn was even born in 99, was he?
Actually, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Turn, I think, was technically born. But I did, back in the day, I would go to the pits and take a lot of photos and stuff. I dug out through my archive some of the photos that I took in March of 1999. Kane Runyon, throw those up now. Here's just me on the backstretch. The multicolored walls, they just kind of redone the walls there. This is looking down the backstretch, and imagine again a 17-year-old Michael Rigsby snapping this photo. Kane, I think we've got 3 or 4
Look just how banked it is.
Now, a couple things to note here in March. See those white specks there kind of up there on the cushion area?
Yeah.
It had snowed so much the week of this event that the snow was still melting, and that silver guardrail you see there, they had put that up 48 hours before the event, which I can't believe they were able to drive in the ground with all the cold weather they've had. Kane, keep going through these photos. This is from the infield.
I mean, look at that. That's an iconic late model shot you see back in the day.
It is. That orange bleacher grandstand.
The trailer and haulers a little smaller than they are today.
Peg leg racing hauler there in the infield. And I think there's one more as well, just sitting there from the grandstand. It's got that cool sort of Smoky Mountain vibe to it. Derek, how are my photography skills?
Hey, I think Todd Turner and Kevin Kovac would be pleased. All those guys that reporters for us, Joshua and Robert, they'd be very pleased if you send them those photos. And B, I want to know about this 4M thing. Yeah. How many were there?
There
roughly?
was. I'm telling you, I'm sure I'm going to misremember it. There was at least in my mind like 100 people there.
That is hilarious.
It was at a local. I think it was a Holiday Inn, Lebo and Bandit.
Well, tweet us if you remember that.
I think Marcus Mackey was there. All these 4M members. It was one of the first times we all got together and met. I was one of the first 100 members of the 4M back in the day. So that was cool. That took place on this weekend, March 99. Derek, the 00, I think it was Freddie Smith would have been in the Christenberry car then, the red and blue and white car, Derek, not the bazooka car. You remember that car at the time?
I mean, he is probably top 3 or 4 most iconic late models in history. I just think that 00 always looks fresh, and Freddie Smith, I mean, the Southern gentleman, he just always had great cars. So of course I remember that, Rigsby.
I love working in those personal touches. I've got pictures
the 4M. That's funny
that I took all over the United States, and it made me think about Bulls Gap. Another full night is on tap this evening from Volunteer, which, by the way, Derek, I'm a little jealous I'm not at Volunteer tonight. If you're ever going to Bulls Gap, I showed you the photo with the snow. They are there at the right time. It's like 71 degrees. The leaves are changing in the Smoky Mountains. Ben and D-Mac and DJ and the crew, they're there at the perfect time right now.
I mean, yeah, right now it's 75 degrees down there. Ben Shelton tweeted out in Facebook saying it's the nicest weather we've had so far in this series, so that's great to see. And you're also in that third Saturday in October weekend coming up,
Tennessee,
Alabama,
Florida.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
So everybody's all fired up, but we got racing first here on a Wednesday night.
The order of events tonight are going to look a little bit like this. Kane, go ahead and throw that up there. But what you'll see at home tonight in the order, we got the pre-race show followed by Super Late Model Hot Laps, Sportsman Late Model Hot Lap qualifying, Street Stock, Derek, Hot Lap qualifying, then Super qualifying, front-wheel drive, Derek.
You've talked
about getting a four-wheel drive car before.
I've always said that
Not a four-wheel drive, a front-wheel drive, excuse me.
Oh, yeah,
car.
I've always said that we should have a dirt-on-dirt 50, all of us in one of these front-wheel cars, or Hornet, we call them in the Midwest. I think that'd be phenomenal, but I don't see any 602 or 604.
No,
so we don't have like 55 crate divisions today.
No, the 55 crate divisions. We go to opening ceremonies and then probably 3 super late model heat races after that. I think 27 cars right on the grounds. Page 2, Sportsman late model feature, followed by the Super B main. We may start them all. We'll see how Landon Stollard's feeling down there at Volunteer.
Might be a little
the
frisky.
Street Stock feature, the Super feature, the front wheel drive feature, and the post race show. Another solid field there, Derek, tonight as well. 27 cars in the pits, headlined by a guy that can, in essence, wrap up the Flow Racing Night in America, the Castrol Flow Racing Night in America Championship tonight. Jonathan Davenport is there. Bobby Pierce in the Vic Hill car.
Nice.
Kyle Larson, of course, fresh off a NASCAR win on Sunday. Mikey Marlar, Huddy, Ricky Weiss, Ryan King, Shane Clanton there. Tennessee's own Corey Hedgecock and Ross Bales. Derek, what do you see on this first screen?
I mean, Corey Hedgecock and Ross Bales, both are picks later on for non-superstar.
Yep.
They like to duke it out. A lot of those guys, Southern Nationals, Spring Nationals, have a few wins at this track. So be very interesting to see if maybe those guys can make some noise and pull off an upset. And that'd be kind of cool just to see not a national touring guy or a top 10 guy in the dirt-on-dirt poll to pull one out here tonight.
Yeah, I'll just be honest. I'm rooting for Bales or Hedgecock or whoever tonight, right? I'm right there with you. Ryan King, I'd love to see it. Another page here, I think this is just recently updated with some guys that rolled in. Derek, Eli Beets. And let me, I screwed this up last week. When I left the S
Only
off his
you
name,
get paid off from your mistakes.
And his mother, who's a lovely woman, sent me this Eli Beets T-shirt, Derek, which is awesome. The Capital Race car. Shout out to our friends Marshall.
That is a sharp-looking car.
It is a great-looking car. It's a great, the front and back. Get out there and get your Eli Beets merchandise.
Bears,
right?
Beets, Battlestar Galactica. Let's go.
So Eli's in the house. Came back to the entry list. Jensen Forda from Tennessee as well. Sam Seawright, Mac McCarter, Adam Yarborough, Chase King, Will Rowland, and many more. Derek, all told 27 cars in the pits tonight.
Yeah, that's what we suspected. We had 26 last week, one more this week, and it'd be interesting to see how Bobby Pierce does in a different late model because you're used to seeing him in a family-owned ride all the time. I know he went out to Dunn Benson there for a year, just to see how he does in the Vic Hill car. He has those motors. We'll see if he can get it dialed in, and of course, Vic, legendary name in that racetrack.
Legendary. So. Whose muscles are bigger, Vic Hill's or mine?
I would say
right?
Ben Shelton's might be a little bigger, but.
Quickly, speaking of Ben Shelton, before we throw it out to him, the segments that you'll see all night long, I showed you the running order. They're in that Castrol pre-race show right now, followed by our gambling segment, of which Derek still owes me a lot of money. Inside the Hauler, who will be with Ricky Thornton Jr. tonight. Our driver interview, I think Nick Hoffman, Derek, is going to join us later.
He's dialed
in the show.
in, yes.
Nick Hoffman will join us later in the show. Kevin Kovac will be here for trivia, and we'll have Kovac back for the post-race studio wrap-up. That's what you can expect all night long on Castrol's Flow Racing Night in America. You can also expect to hear an unbelievably great call of this race tonight from two of the best in the business, Dustin Jarrett and Ben Shelton, who join us now live from Volunteer Speedway in Bulls Gap, Tennessee, guys.
The very first event, Ben, that I came to here at Volunteer Speedway was actually that race that our very own Michael Rigsby was studio way back in like 1999. Michael Rigsby and we were actually at the very same 4M.net meeting at one of the hotels down the road, didn't even know each other. Here we are back. It's been about that long since you've been here to the Gap too.
So you guys were here in 99 at like the spring thaw. I was here July 4th weekend. I saw the Southern All-Stars. Was the first time I ever saw Jimmy Owens racing. He was in a modified, and his time that night would have out-timed half the Southern All-Star late model field. So yeah, it's funny, in 99 we all came here. I have not been back here since 1999. I live in away on the other end in Memphis. Haven't been here since 99. But we come here tonight, and it's the best weather we've had so far, Dustin. It's just incredible. There's no clouds in the sky. There's a few little overcasts. We've had no rain. We've had no snow. And we got one heck of a field of race cars in the pit area.
We've got a really good field of cars in the pit area, just as we've always, one of the things the guys was talking about, Ben, they talked about Bobby Pierce here in that Vic Hill-owned race car. I know you kind of had a hand in helping get all that together. It's also the very first time that Bobby Pierce has ever been behind the wheel of a Longhorn, albeit either a 2016, he didn't know, 2016 or 2017 horn.
Yeah, he told me, he said, I'm going to be honest, I'm a guy that doesn't get nervous very often, but I've never been in a Longhorn, and I've never been to Volunteer Speedway, and his exact words were, holy hell, this place is high banked. So you place This, of course, Bobby's raced at Tazewell. I think he got upside down at Tazewell before, actually. But, yeah, he's going to be in that car tonight. He'll also be on Thursday night at Ray Cook's Tri-County Racetrack, the Tar Heel 50. He's going to be in that car as well. But tonight he is in the 1V. So we'll see what he can do. We talk about this. Through 6 races, we've had 6 different winners. Bobby Pierce is one of them, but guys in the pit area that are not, guys like Mike Marlar, they haven't won one yet. We look at guys like Corey Hedgecock. We've got Ross Bells in the house for the first time. This is Ross's first Castrol Series race. A lot of guys in the pit area trying to make it 7 for 7 here tonight.
Shane Clanton was a nice late ad that well, Ben, where maybe unpredictable is predictable, but unpredictable. And talking to a few guys back in the pit area is maybe the right way or the right term to use to describe the gap.
Well, it is, and things happen in a hurry here. This is a very fast, very high-banked racetrack. It's very wide, but it races like a bull. It is. Guys talked about that in the pit area. Shane Clanton was sharing some of his memories down there. So, again, it's fun to see. You've got national-level guys. You got Davenport. You also got that guy named Kyle Larson. He's in the house tonight in the Rumley number 6. He's second in the points. He's still got a chance at the championship that Davenport leads the way in. So you talk about all those national guys at the It's a really fun field tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Well, guys, I tell you what, we're real excited back here. You guys are as well. Michael Rigsby, you and I and Ben Shelton all at the Gap in 1999. You and I crossed paths back in 1999, man. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I can't believe, Derek, you were making fun of me for being at this 4M meeting that Dustin's talking about. DJ and I both in the same hotel ballroom.
The two people
that
have admitted being there. I'm kind of suspecting how awesome this thing was, but that is crazy when you find out that a coworker or person you've been involved with for 15 years now was at the same place you were, not even knowing him.
So it would have been 22 years ago. Dustin and I would have been at that same meeting, and I think I probably would have known of Dustin Jarrett by his 4M handle, but not probably known him at the time. I thought it was interesting what Bobby Pierce said there, Derek. A Central Illinois kid coming to the high banks of East Tennessee. All these tracks in East Tennessee are pretty high banked. He was kind of taken aback by Bulls Gap a little bit there.
Yeah, Bobby Pierce is used to going up on the cushion, going balls to the wall, fearless. And tonight he told Ben Shelton he is kind of nervous about tonight in a Longhorn at an Eastern Tennessee track he's ever been at. And that's kind of crazy to think about that Bobby Pierce is nervous about something.
Well, I think him in a Longhorn, right? He's never been in a Longhorn car, and the Longhorns have been so successful. Where do you put the odds of Bobby being good in this Longhorn tonight?
I mean, it's Pierce. He can drive a dump truck. I'd say if he gets a top 7, that'd be a big win for him, but I don't think he's going to get 5th or 6th.
I think so, too. I think he's definitely going to be inside the top 10. I think you've correctly predicted it around 7th. Well, thank you to Ben Shelton and Dustin Jarrett. We will hear much more from them all night long, of course, but let's step away for our first set of commercial breaks. You're watching Castrol Flow Racing Night in America. Back after these words from our sponsors.
Strength, power, muscle. The car's not bad either. With Castrol Edge, you've got the strength to unlock maximum performance. The muscle car meet, you'll crush it. Castrol Edge in, Garage Swagger on.
Gear up to win with Buzzy Racing. With over 40 years of experience in motorsports and countless victories, Buzzy Racing provides teams with superior drivetrain sales and service. Whether you need assistance with transmissions, gears, axles, brakes, steering, drive shafts, or differentials, we have you covered. Family owned and operated, Buzzy Racing is dedicated to our customers on track success. What are you waiting for? Visit us at buzzyracing.com to learn more.
Derek did a lot of squawking last week about how good he did in our Dirt Draft gambling segment. He acted like he did so well. He crushed me. It was 3-2, right? He beat me by one.
In
bet.
the words of Aaron Rodgers, I own you. I effing own you. Last week.
Well, right now you owe me $300. You don't own me, Aaron. You owe me $300. You only picked up $50 last week. Let's take a quick look at where we stand right now. Derek is, by the way, I got to say something to our own Gabby. These are not good photos she's choosing of me, right? These are bad photos that she's picking. And meanwhile, your hair's like all
I know
blown
my hair
in
looks
the wind.
like great.
Why does Gabby hate me?
Go back to the Spoon River photo. I demand it.
Well,
I demand it.
Me walking in the pits at Spoon River. Either way, Derek is down $300 to me as we head into tonight. Every night when we do our gambling segment, it is brought to you by Dirt Draft, the official fantasy dirt track racing provider of Castrol Flow Racing Night in America. Go to Dirt Draft now, or even easier, Suave, head to the app on your phone and set your lineups. This is pretty cool. They got the volunteer graphic on it. Play unlimited races, and there's still 60 races left this year on Dirt Draft for all of 2021. And tonight, the first 50 new subscribers will receive a Castrol Flow Racing Night in America Dirt Draft t-shirt, or one or the other. A Flow Racing Night t-shirt, a Dirt Draft t-shirt, Derek. So basically, it's a t-shirt and 1 month of Dirt Draft for $5.99 for the first 50 new subscribers that sign up.
What a deal.
Have to use the promo code FLOWRACING. You have to use the promo code FLOWRACING. And I think the leaderboard at the end of the year, somebody gets a trophy, whoever wins the Castrol mini-series on Dirt Draft. I know our own Chet Christner, Derek, is inside the top 15. Dustin Jarrett is somewhere around 550th in the Castrol Dirt Draft.
A guy that goes to racing all year long, that goes to different racetracks, does a good scouting report. You think he'd be higher, but we got Bill 3915 with the 28-point advantage over Super Tramp 740. And Pumpkin 454 has been up there all year long, trails by 42. Let's see if Pumpkin Halloween season gets hot here in the last 2 nights.
So don't forget again, first 50 new subscribers will receive a Castrol Flow Racing Night in America or a Dirt Draft t-shirt. Use the promo code FLOWRACING, FLORAC. I'm making sure I have my notes right. I went to the eye doctor today, and I'm getting to that age. FLORACING. Sign up or download the Dirt Draft app right now. Okay, you guys know the drill by now. 5 bets every week between Derek and I. Fast qualifier, superstar, non-superstar, the vaunted over-under caution flag bet, and the winner. Let's take a look at the first bet tonight. It is for qualifying. I've got Derek. These guys keep popping up every week on this qualifying list. I've got JD. You've got Larson.
I mean, guys that qualify well no matter where they go. Yep. Even though I picked Larson last week, we kind of I kind of called him out there and through text, like, you got to get faster in these qualifying segments if we're going to.
He has struggled in qualifying here recently.
Last week it was not good. He started the tail, had to run a B main, but got up to like 7th, I think, for the final standing. So, come on, Larson, let's go.
Superstar bet. Which superstar will finish higher? Let's flip it. I've got Kyle Larson. You've got Hudson O'Neal. I think that's a little bit of a risky pick tonight.
I mean, Hudson O'Neal's won a few crown jewels this season in the neck of the woods of his car owner, so I'm going to go with Hudson O'Neal there.
All right, that's fair. My favorite, the non-superstar bet. Second week in a row, I'm sticking with Tennessee's Corey Hedgecock. I actually like your pick of Ross Bales, though. I think it's good.
I mean, both these guys have won regional races here the last few years, and my question is, we're picking non-superstar guys that have national touring wins, so it's kind of weird that we're going.
Well, there's not, I mean, the odds are not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not getting mad about it.
No offense to Jaden Frame or Cade Loudon or Troy Eads.
That you had to be in the top 25.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, these guys are not superstars, right? There's only 10 superstars.
Well, Corey Hedgecock's family might think he's a superstar.
I love Corey Hedgecock. He's not JD. He's not, Bobby Pierce, for goodness sake.
No.
All right, enough on that. Yellow flag bet. Derek, of course, life is too short to bet the under, so I've got under 5.5 yellows. Derek, I've looked. The farthest we've been off is 1 in the entire series. That is very impressive.
That's dang good.
Derek has the over 5.5. And the winner tonight, I've got Tennessee's own Mike Marlar. Derek likes JD, Jonathan Davenport, Suave.
JD all day. Superman. Though Mike Marlar was up in contention last week.
He was.
Had several laps at this racetrack, to say the least. So both our picks are I think, going to be a top 3 or 4, so it's going to come down to the wire. I love it.
This is a place, though, I've got a lot of experience, right? I've been to Bulls Gap many times. I expect to go at least 4-1 tonight. Derek has just too much Illinois blood in him to really be as good at these East Tennessee tracks. I think 4-1 for me tonight, if you want my honest opinion. I think I go 4-1.
Okay, whatever you're having, I'll take later on in the show. You might, but I don't think so, buddy.
Another quick set of commercial breaks. Thanks again to Dirt Draft for sponsoring our gambling segment. About 60 to 90 seconds, and we'll be back with Todd Turner after this. How are we looking at the racetrack? Do we know?
Hero, rock star, dad, whatever they call you. Get your garage swagger on, Doug, and protect your engine with Castrol GTX Magnatech. Castrol GTX Magnatech in, garage swagger on.
Racers that win, pour it in, and we appreciate you.
Established in 1983, FK Rod-Ends has been the industry leader for both midget and micro racing. Family owned and operated, we take pride in our products and our name because we know you value yours. Visit our website, www.fkrodends.com, to find out how you can join our winning team. FK Rod-Ends. To beat the best, you've got to use the best.
Shiny, clean, less sludge? Those chairs are for you, Rosa, because Rocket's still running like a dream thanks to you and the sludge protecting power of Castrol GTX Ultra Clean. Castrol GTX Ultra Clean in, garage swagger on.
Gear up to win with Buzzy Racing. With over 40 years of experience in motorsports and countless victories, Buzzy Racing provides teams with superior drivetrain sales and service. Whether you need assistance with transmissions, gears, axles, brakes, steering, drive shafts, or differentials, we have you covered. Family owned and operated, Buzzy Racing is dedicated to our customers on track success. What are you waiting for? Visit us at buzzyracing.com to learn more.
How do you want your legend to be remembered? You're more than your victories. You're more than your losses. You're the hard work, the sacrifice. You're the fire that burns within. What will you do to become legendary?
Women owned and manufactured in South Carolina, PFC Brakes is the #1 choice for motorsports, fleets, auto manufacturers, and first responders. PFC delivers the best brakes on the market, guaranteed to outlast and outperform the competition. If you're looking to win at the track or reduce downtime for your fleet, or just need more stopping power when towing your boat or trailer, look no further than PFC Brakes. Visit us at pfcbrakes.com to find your local PFC Brakes distributor today. PFC Brakes are bred to win, from the track to the job site. No compromises.
I mentioned my first trip to Volunteer Speedway was a snowy March weekend in 1999. And I think, unless I'm mistaken, in the crowd that day, I might have this wrong, I know he was there a few times, was Todd Turner, who joins us now for his nightly segment on Flow Racing Night in America. Todd, do I have that right? Were you there in 99 at Volunteer?
I was there. I think I was at the Motel 6 for the 4M meeting, but nobody else was there. Was that not right?
Yeah, I think we were at the Holiday Inn, Todd. It was a beautiful banquet room.
Holiday.
So somebody sent you to the wrong hotel. Todd, I said, the nerds DJ and I were there, so we held it down for you. I start this as I do every interview with you on the show. Todd Turner, I say Volunteer Speedway. You say what?
Mystique maybe, and this comes from back in the 90s or in the early 90s before I went there. You know, it was kind of Bloomquist home track, and it was had all these 100-lap races all the time, all kinds of unsigned, just every week. Oh, we got another 100-lap race. And it was kind of like, wow, what that place really must have it going on. So it was neat to finally, you know, get to go there in the late 90s. And as you said, now it's host many series and all kinds of big races over its 40-something year history.
It's got to be in the top 5 or 10 tracks in the country that has hosted every sanctioning body, right? And I'm talking, you know, Southern All-Stars, Tampa, Lucas Oil, World of Outlaw. It's got to be in the top 5 or 10 of having almost all of them, right?
Yeah, it's. I mean, actually, I went back and counted when you were talking about the series it's hosted. It's hosted 12 series just since 2000. 12 super late model tours.
Wow.
Which, you know, some tracks kind of settled in and run 1 or 2 series, you know, for their lifetime. So, and even more interesting, there's not too many tracks that have hosted all the national tours. Yeah. And I'm talking about national, the NDRA. Tampa, and now the current Lucas Oil and World of Outlaws. Just 11 tracks hosted at least one race on all those tours, and Volunteer is tied for second.
Wow.
Number 1 is Cherokee with 40, and Volunteer at 39 right behind it, wow. Tied there. And Knoxville not too far behind. It's an interesting list, those 11 tracks. The Volunteers right at the top of that national touring list.
Yeah, great info, Todd. Derek, go ahead.
Okay, Todd, give me a reason or an upset special other than like Jonathan Davenport and the guys in the top 5 and then Dirt on Dirt Pole. Is there anybody that can come in here and pull off a shocker? Because I'm tired of all these favorites winning. We need a little upset magic coming in.
Is this where I'm supposed to say that I gave you Ross Bales as your non-superstar?
Right. We'll tell Rigsby. We can admit it.
I like that pick. I think that's your guy if you want to ride with somebody like that. Although with you guys, I'm with you guys with Pierce. Let's see what he does in that Longhorn. It'll be fun to see him wheeling around there.
Illinois, Todd, has bull rings, and on the heels of you mentioning Bobby Pearson, East Tennessee has these crazy high-banked places, right? It really is a sight to behold, you know, Tazewell and Bulls Gap and the old Atomic back in the day. These tracks that are in these upper 20 degrees, mid 20 degrees on bankings. There's a lot of people watching tonight from Illinois and Indiana and Iowa that have never seen these places. These East Tennessee places are no joke when you roll up on them with the banking. It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, that my recollection is when I first went to these tracks in the 90s, Atomic, Tazewell, and Volunteer most specifically. And, you know, back then I would always shoot still photography. And I'd go there in the corner and you would just look up. And the high groove, your neck was a little craned, you know. A lot of those Illinois or Indiana tracks, you're shooting straight ahead. Yeah. But on those high bank tracks, you were just like looking way up. It's an interesting perspective to watch down there.
Todd, give me some of those odds and ends you're looking for tonight. Just about 2 or 3, 4 minutes away from Hot Laps. Last little nuggets from you.
Well, one guy that's not there, and I understand their team is shutting down, Donald McIntosh. Yeah. The Blount Motorsports team announced today that they were shuttering operations. A great 15-year run for that team, but they won't be there tonight. Another one I noticed, Shane Clanton, he has just one win this year. Yeah. He had just one win last year. He's 260 days without a victory, and before this, I think he'd gone back to 2009, where he'd won at least 4 races a year. So he really is in a kind of a slow time here. He needs to pick it up and grab another win here. Derek was so proud of that note, by the way, Todd. He was going to mention Clanton. Oh. He was so upset that you mentioned it now. So
you got that one for me, right, Todd? Wink.
I appreciate you sharing that. I'll give you Bales, and you can have Clanton or
Perfect.
Something like that.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Todd. I appreciate it, bud.
Yeah, good luck.
Derek, a couple of few notes. I think it's about 5 or 6 cars in staging now, as Dustin McCarty has told me in my ear. Bobby Pearson, that Vic Hill car tonight. To me, that's kind of the highlight note, other than JD wrapping up his championship. Kyle Strickler was supposed to be here tonight, ended up not coming. I was going to mention something about him. But again, Strickler ended up not making it. Heels off the fresh off the heels of that Friendship victory. Maybe he's riding high after the 10,000 Friendship last
crazy
night.
whirlwind. 5 crazy things happened in what happened in your career happened in one season with him.
Yeah.
So big win for him. He never gives up. So bummed not to see him here tonight.
How about going through my last few notes? Cade Loudy, of course, the son of Captain Kirk, sort of that legendary crew shot guy in our sport. Typically, he's been in a crate. We'll get to see Cade Loudy tonight in a super late model, which is a lot of fun. And JD's final race of the Flow Racing Night in America Tour is tonight. He's had a vacation planned for next week. We weren't supposed to race. It was rescheduled at Tri-County. JD can wrap up the title tonight, Derek.
Yeah, beach life for him maybe. I don't know where he's going, but go take Blaine out on a vacation. Rachel, she's grinding at the ranch all the time, so, you know.
I believe the race cars have hit the track. That will do it for our Castrol Flow Racing Night in America pre-race show. Derek and I will pop back in all night long. Ben Shelton and Dustin Jarrett take it away from Bulls Gap, Tennessee, and Volunteer Speedway for tonight's Castrol Flow Racing Night in America.
Welcome to Volunteer Speedway in Bulls Gap, Tennessee. Round number 7 of the Castrol Flow Racing Night in America. 28 super late models in the pit area to do battle for $10,000 tonight. And cars are making their way out to the Speedway of a 71, 11-time winner this year, Hudson O'Neill, the real deal out of Martinsville, Indiana, and car 71. And behind him, the number 25 of Shane Clanton out of Zebulon, Georgia, former World of Outlaws champion. Behind him, the number 16 out of Fort Payne, Alabama. That's going to be Sam Seawright in that Black Diamond Durham-powered race car. And the number 52 of Troy Eads, one win on the year for the driver out of Tazewell, Tennessee, in the C.J. Rayburn. In the 126, that'll be Cade Loudy out of Rogersville, Tennessee, in the MV Suspension Masters built race car, as he's made 2 super late model races this year with that Pace Performance 604 crate. But as you look at cars in this set, Dustin Jarrett, Hudson O'Neill, a guy you got to think about. 11 wins on the year. He won the Show Me, the Topless, the Pittsburgher, second in Lucas Points, and now he is in car owner Roger Seller's backyard.
Yeah, he is real excited to be here, especially after that team was unable to make it to 411 Motor Speedway last week. They had a few things go wrong in those Lucas Oil races down at Dixie and Rome just a few days prior. They really, really wanted to get to 411, couldn't quite make it. HUD and team back in action here at the Gap. They're real excited to be here. A few other drivers have made their way out onto the track, including the driver that lives in Seymour, Tennessee. He's coming out of turn number 4 right now in the PTSD Awareness Racing Warrior race cars. Mike Knuckles rents number 1G. That is going to be Ryan King. Ryan King in the 1G on the Speedway. And Ben, one other driver made his way out on the track in the number 93. That is Benjamin Cranford, the Thomas Georgia driver. Ben Cranford in the number 93. Also on the Speedway, first set of hot laps, now going green. Again, just hot laps for our Castrol Flow Racing Night in America Late Model Series. This does not mean anything to support classes, though, Ben. They will be hot lap qualifying those, and that will determine their starting spots in their features. Drivers now on the track just simply getting a warm-up session under their belt here for the 7th installment of our midweek racing series sponsored by Castrol. And right now, Ryan King atop the leaderboard with a 1:3.374.
How about that for Ryan King? Fastest car in that set. Hudson O'Neill second, then Clanton Loudy. Of course, this is just hot laps. These drivers will come back out for Renegade Race Fuels and Lubricants qualifying a little bit later.
Practice, man.
Talking about practice. Well, right now, Ryan King, the Seymour, Tennessee driver, the Warrior House car, fastest car in that set, 13.374. And then it's Hudson O'Neill, Shane Clanton. This is just hot laps, as these drivers will come back out later for Renegade Race Fuels and Lubricants qualifying, and that will determine the 3 heat race lineups, 3 heats, 1B. And tonight we'll have a 40-lap, 10,000 win feature. Next set of cars coming to the Speedway, led by your current NASCAR Sprint Cup points leader out of Elk Grove, California, Kyle Larson. 28 wins on the year, 9 in the Cup ranks, counting his All-Star win in that Longhorn Cornet-powered Rumbly Motorsports number 6. Can he get number 2 on the year here tonight, Dustin?
He might be a good driver to pick up in your DirtDraft.com fantasy lineup, Ben Shelton. I was debating on him earlier when I was setting my Dirt Draft lineup. For those of you watching at home and those of you here on the grounds, if you've not yet done so, go to DirtDraft.com, set your fantasy lineup, and use the code FLOWRACING to get a free T-shirt.
Get a free T-shirt, $5.99 for the first month. Can't beat that. In this set tonight, making his super late model debut, Aaron Gwynn out of Russellville, Tennessee, the Warrior Comanche chassis, DJ's Performance Engine under the hood, number 97, a 3-time winner this year. In front of him, the 101 of Forrest Trent out of Morristown, Tennessee, the Service 101 Storm Recovery Vic Hill powered Longhorn. One of the last guys in the pit area, Dustin, the number 15 of Christian Hangerl, Highside Hank, an 8-time winner this year out of Winchester, Tennessee, and the Rocket XR1 Mullins, number 15.
One of the 27s making his way down the front straightaway now. I believe that's Joe Denby.
It is.
In that one, yep, it does not have the F after it. It's Joe Denby out of Tullahoma, Tennessee, in the Mullins-powered Capital number 27.
So Denby's actually going to run the F on that race car, and that's in memory of Mark Fields, who passed away this week. A Middle Tennessee racer, very sad situation. And how about another driver out in the super late, moving into the super late model ranks, that number 7?
Yeah, Adam All out there. I actually had a chance to talk to him a little bit earlier, the Talbot, Tennessee driver. This is actually just his 3rd start in a super late model all year long. He's picked up, I think he told me he picked up a couple wins over the course of the season. Real excited to be here. He says this is like a home track for him after running crates most of the year. He's really excited to get back in the super late models again for just the 3rd time this season.
I thought that car looked fantastic. I commented on that. He goes, yeah, she's pretty beat up late in the year. I said, hell, she looks better than most of the cars to start the year.
Looks better than my Fusion sitting out in the lot right now.
It is. Well, you assume it's still there, so I might take it. It could be in the front-wheel drive class. You don't know.
It is out of my view of sight right now. I'm parked down over the cliff there off of turns 3 and 4.
That would be great if Ray Cook entered it in the front-wheel drive class. Well, the next wave of super late models on the Speedway again. 28 cars tonight, and Adam All. How about the announcer's jinx? He's going to spin it around over in turn number 4, and the caution and the checker come out together as the Talbot, Tennessee driver loops her around. And we'll send that group of cars back to the pit area. And fastest in that set, how about Forrest Trent, the 101 driver that runs a limited super late model schedule, but our charger out of Morristown, Tennessee, 3rd fastest overall and the fastest in that set.
Yeah, 1:35.40 his lap time, about a 1/10.5 off of Ryan King's quickest lap in warm-ups with a 1:3.374. You know, we were talking earlier about the 4M.net and the old school hangout they used to have here, the meetup, the get-together. And I saw a post actually on there this week. Someone said, why do announcers give lap times during hot laps when hot laps don't mean anything? I guess the simple answer to that is we just like to keep fans informed. A lot of times folks want to know who's quickest or what kind of times drivers are turning. And to be honest, there's not a whole lot else to talk about.
Well, it's not, as Kyle Larson goes 2nd on the board, but it also gives you an idea who's fast out of the box and who to watch for later in the night. And let's be honest, some of these guys are fast in hot laps and they step on it after that. Other guys that are fast in hot laps carry it the entire night. As the checkered flag waves on that set of cars, as they'll head back to the pit area, the fastest car in that hot lap group, Kyle Larson in car number 6, the Elk Grove, California driver, chasing his 2nd Castrol Flow Racing Night in America win of the year here tonight. He won a thriller at Brownstown Speedway back in May, Dustin, and tonight he comes here looking for number 2.
Absolutely. Hey, got to send a shout out as well to Aaron Gwynn, turning the 5th quickest overall lap right now with a 1:3.572, a very good lap time. Again, halfway in for the driver, the number 97, Ben. Next group of drivers going to make their way out on the track, led out by a Jasper, Georgia driver.
Yeah, that's going to be Will Rowland, one-time winner of this year in that Rowland Tire Vic Hill-powered Longhorn. And behind him, a guy that cannot catch a break, was running in the top 5 at 4:11 last week, had a tire explode on that 157, and that's Mikey Marler.
Yeah, tough break for Mike Marler there, as he has just been dealt a bad hand by Lady Luck more times than not this season. Of course, had that solid 26-2 run back in the World 100 at the World 100 back in September as well. Next driver behind of him out of Denver, North Carolina in the 57 is Adam Yarbrough, the Clements-powered Longhorn, also making his way out in the 32 on the inside of the track on the backstretch. Somewhat of a surprise entrant, a guy we weren't expecting to see out of Kaiser, West Virginia. That is Travis Stickley. I talked to Travis back in the pit area. He said he got home last night. He said he got home from work early. He said, I told my dad, hey, I got a crazy idea. And he goes, my dad said, uh-oh, where do you want to go? He said, let's race at Bulls Gap, Tennessee tomorrow. And Dad said, hey, why not? And so they're here.
7.5 hours. They've only raced 10 times this year. They've had some bad luck, but he did win a race earlier this year at Bedford Speedway. Yeah. And the number 51 back there, we saw his brother Pierce last week in the super late model division. Tonight it's going to be Mac McCarter in the 51 out of Gatlinburg, Tennessee, the CVR race car, Phantom Racing engine. McCarter Brothers Racing, number 51. He is a 7-time winner this year. And another one of those East Tennessee guys right behind him out of Rockford, Tennessee, to be Jeff Newbert. The newbie, as it says on the side, in the Longhorn J. Dickens powered Joe Newbert Collision Centers, number 86. And I tell you, a guy that a lot of people think could be a sleeper is behind him, Dustin.
Yeah, it's going to be Ross Bales out of Clover, South Carolina. Vic Hill power plant underneath the hill, underneath the hood. It's a hill under the hood of that Longhorn chassis. And one guy that I think snuck out on us that we did not see, Ben, over in the middle of turns 1 and 2. He is the current Castrol Flow Racing Night in America points leader in the Nutrient Ag Solutions ASC warranty sponsor, number 49. Out of Blairsville, Georgia, it is Superman Jonathan Davenport.
The green flag is up. Ryan King, the fastest time in hot laps, 13.374. We'll see if anybody can top that here as these drivers, again, getting them dialed in for Renegade Race Fuels and Lubricants qualifying coming up a little bit later. After this, we'll have Sportsman Late Model Hot Lap qualifying. One more wave of Super Late Model Hot Laps, I believe. And then Sportsman Late Model Hot Lap qualifying. They're going to hot lap qualify for their starting spot in a 20-lap main event here tonight. As Dustin, we're here at Volunteer Speedway, and what a cool racetrack, man.
It's
beautiful,
awesome, man.
Beautiful setting with the mountains in the background. I love the hill off the back straightaway, and we got a full pit area. The grandstands are filling up. It's everything you could ever hope to have on a Wednesday night.
This is, and I mentioned this earlier, this is one of my original bucket list racetracks, you know, back when everyone else was going on a senior trip to, like, Washington, D.C. I was coming to Volunteer Speedway because I'd heard so much about it. Hey, we got a shake-up here in hot laps. Mike Marlar laying down the quickest lap that we've seen so far this evening right now with a 1:30.73. The 49 of Superman Jonathan Davenport just behind him. Second quick right now in hot laps with a 1:30.80. And how about Mac McCarter putting down the fourth fastest lap in warm-ups, Ben, with a 1:3.419.
He's had a big year, mainly in crate late model competition, but here he is tonight. And look at this next set of cars. Wow. The number 7 out of Headingley, Manitoba, the Sniper race car Vic Hill Racing engine, Dryden Engine Oils and Greases entry, former Eldora Speedway track champion Ricky Weiss in car number 7. And behind him in car number 83, it's Jensen Ford, your current Ironman Late Model Series points leader. Hey, they got a big show at I-75 Raceway coming up on Saturday night with Chris Tilley and the gang. 15,000 possible to win.
Yeah.
Jensen Ford leads the points for that series. He's here tonight in car 83. 2 wins on the year for the driver of the Whitehead Construction Vic Hill powered TNT chassis. And behind him, speaking of Vic, Dustin, and Vic's car.
Driving Vic Hill's race car, ladies and gentlemen, his first ever time here at Volunteer Speedway out of Oakwood, Illinois. 20 wins on the year for the smooth operator, Bobby Pierce. He'll be followed out by the Loudon, Tennessee driver in the 23. That is Corey Hedgecock, his second week in a row with us. Matt Tharp, a late arrival in the 35 out of Luttrell, Tennessee, and one other driver on the track, Ben, in the 109 out of Knoxville, Tennessee. It's Eli Beets. We got to meet him last week for the first time.
We did. We met his mom for the first time. She flung a T-shirt at me. No, fantastic. I was talking to him in the pit area earlier. Shane Clanton was down there. Shane goes, Eli, the best thing that could have ever happened to you is them get your name wrong because now everybody knows who you are. So, yeah, it was very cool. Glad to have them with us. I think they're going to try to make it to Tri-County next week for the series finale 1 week from tomorrow. That'll be the 28th of October, the 18th annual Tar Hill 50. It's 53 laps there. We're going to talk to Ray Cook. We got to change it to Tar Hill 53.
That's right.
Instead of Tar Hill 50.
That's right.
10,000 to win next week. As you look at this racetrack, and 1 and 2, she's still got quite a bit of grip. Down at 3 and 4, she's starting to slick up. Looks like it could definitely be a racer's racetrack kind of joint here tonight.
Yeah, and for the folks watching at home, I think one of the reasons why that is, Ben, is the track more or less kind of runs east-west. So turns 3 and 4 are actually kind of facing the east, while turns 1 and 2, turn 1 would be kind of the west side of the racetrack, and so the sun has kind of been baking on turns 3 and 4, maybe a little bit more than it has turns 1 and 2 today. It's actually sitting right now, or starting to set just off of turn number 1. I think that's why you see turns 3 and 4 slicked up just a little bit more than what we've seen down in turns 1 and 2. Another little shake-up in our top 5. Still Mike Marlar and Jonathan Davenport, your 2 quickest drivers. Ricky Weiss moving up to 3rd in practice with Corey Hedgecock 4th and Eli Beets now 5th quick in warm-ups, Ben. Yeah, good for him.
That young man's very talented. Well, right now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Cody Early as we get set for the Sportsmen to come out, as they're going to hot lap qualify to determine their lineup for their heat races. We coming back momentarily with super late model qualifying here tonight at Volunteer Speedway, but right now, Mr. Early, take it over.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Dustin. Yeah, 24 Sportsman late models ready to rock and roll tonight for a different style of qualifying for them. This will be the first time this season the Sportsman late models are going to go at it with quick time hot lap qualifying.